name. So significantly, that got to the Korlu's people. What did they do? Plus the ongoing coalition, plus the Peter Obi's phenomenon. Although Onofunuga has returned back to Nigeria from Brazil, no one has told them, or he hasn't even shared with them, where is Korlu? BRICS summit in Brazil, in Rio, is over. But where is Korlu? We'll come back to that one. Onofunuga returned back to Nigeria. Apart from all the moves of El Rufaya and gang that they've tried to dismiss or pretend that it is inconsequential, so right now, the narrative up north, in northern part of Nigeria, is that Tinubu is an OTP, one-term president. And whatever propaganda they are going to push, Tinubu is gone. Now to Onofunuga, well, it's like imagination won't finish all of you. Who is gone? Korlu, gone. We are not worried. So, to him, those who matter are with Tinubu. Those who tried to stop him from getting the APC ticket are the same people who don't even have any clout or what have you, are the ones who are making all these threats. That's how Onofunuga sees it. In fact, listen to this.
And let me start by asking you what you think of the assertion by the former secretary to the government, Boss Mustafa, that Bola Tinubu was not responsible for making Muhammadu Buhari president of Nigeria in 2015. Is that something that you've given some thought to?
Let me say, I was there, I was at the event. Boss Mustafa did not say it that way. He didn't say it that way. What he was saying was that the whole issue about the alliance, or the merger at that time, that the ACN, which was the principal part of the alliance, it has 6 governors at that time. The CPC of President Buhari only had 1 governor. And then the ANPP was part of the merger, I think with 3 or 4 governors. And then the APGA, represented by Okorosha, was also part of the alliance. You see, the ACN, from 2011, they had seen a possibility that if all these forces come together, they could win the presidency. Buhari was returning, in 2003 election, he returned 12 million votes. In 2007, when votes were repressed all over the country by Obasanjo's INEC, Buhari returned 6 million. But in 2011, he made another 12 million votes. So it was clear. In fact, ACN then started talking to Buhari in 2011, before that 2011 election. But Buhari did not listen. He thought he could go it all alone. He went into that election again and he failed. So after that election, then they reopened talks. So you see, you cannot win this thing alone. You needed some kind of alliance. And what people twisted what Boss Mustafa said. It was clear to ACN, a very strategic arm of that alliance, that without support, without additional support, there was no way Buhari could have won an election. Yeah, I was getting 12 million votes. If we put all the 19 states in the north together, 12 million votes. But in the south, Buhari was nowhere. Buhari needed...
And you need that spread.
You need that spread.
Yeah.
ACN had 6 states. 6 states. So if you look at the result of that election, he got the votes he needed in those 6 states. They may not be in millions.
But they were strategic.
They were important votes.
Right.
They gave him, he won in all those 6 states, and he got more than 25%. So at the end of the day, he won in about 25 states, more than the constitutional requirement of 24 states. So that was how he won. And you see, people were just turning what Boss Mustafa said very mischievously. Buhari himself, as president, even out of office, he never forgot the help that Bola Tinubu rendered to him. He never forgot it because he knew that without that alliance, without Bola Tinubu being in the picture, there was no way he could have been president. There was no way. It was so clear.
Right.
So all these things people are talking about, turning things, twisting things, they're just merely mischievous. with that Bola Tinubu, there was no way we would have had a Buhari presidency in Nigeria.
Right. Well, that's trying to replicate, in a sense, what the APC did in 2015. Why do you think this political shake-up is happening now, with 2 years still to go before the next presidential election?
Well, let me say, in my view, they are jumping the gun. It's not yet time for politicking, as they are doing.
Well, they would say that your party is doing the same thing. You're co-opting people from the opposition to beef up your strength in the APC.
Well, we didn't go the way they are going about it. The alliance or the merger that we had in 2013 was not as noisy as these people are making it. They are not as you didn't give much distraction to the government in power. But the way they are doing is as if INEC has blown the whistle for party politics to start, but that is not so. But you see, they are free. This is a free country. People can come together to form all kinds of alliances. But as far as APC is concerned, we are not seeing them as any threat. If you merge Peter Obi and Atiku together, there's no way the two of them can beat a Bola Tinubu Shetima ticket. It's not going to be possible.
Yeah, but separately.
They went to election alone. Atiku went to it alone. Peter went to it alone. But let me tell you something. If Peter allies with Atiku in 2027, he will not get the blind followership we got in 2023. It will not happen. Because those ones who say no, they want you to be president. They don't want you to be vice president. So that will never happen.
But there
so
are
that's
some...
why I look at it, they are just trying their luck. They are trying to do all kinds of permutations. But I can tell you, the APC will still be in power in 2027.
Right. But
President Tinubu's achievements in office will speak for him.
There are some who used to be in your party and the president's party, the APC, but who feel aggrieved and pushed aside by Mr. Tinubu. Some of them believe they worked very hard in the 2023 presidential election, but the president failed to come back. And let me start by...
So that's son of Onuga. He's 70, how old is he again now? 79, I mean 78. I don't know, in between, and he's a special advisor to Tinubu on social media matters. So he has to make comments when people like us say something and all that. So that's why he gets paid somehow, right? And he's a very good deflector too, So there is no way this opposition can beat this Tinubu, because what they are doing cannot be likened or equated to how they did their own matcha and other stuff. And Tinubu actually did go extra miles for Buhari in one of those epic moments before everybody realized that they thought they were electing, a macho man, only to discover that now one older Suegbe, they end up going to get offered. Remember this speech in Abeokuta.
Every nation have a period of their own challenges. When America was challenged, they turned to one great man, their ex-military general, General Eisenhower. Correct? When French was challenged, they turned to their general, Charles de Gaulle. Correct? When Britain was challenged, they turned to their great general, Winston Churchill. Correct? Today, Nigeria is challenged, economically challenged, physically challenged, security challenged. Who do we turn to? We Muhammad Buhari is the right man for the job. If you talk of military experience, he has it abundantly. If you talk of courage, he has it abundantly. If you talk of simplicity, he has it abundantly. If you talk of great determination, a combination of vision and ability to perform, honesty and integrity, he has it abundantly. Abundant. 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 Allow. I'm coming back up.
Kolu. So that was like 10 years, well, over 10 years ago. So by the time Buhari was done with Nigeria, the irony, Buhari was jobless and gainfully employed Nigerians donated their money when this druggie and his gang packaged this genocidist as a repentant general. That's what they called him. He had no job. He had 150 cows. The one that he inherited from his late wife. 150 cows in 1986. 150 cows in 1990. 150 cows in 1999. 150 cows in year 2000 and 150 cows even in year 2010. Until 2015, his cows remained 150. An unproductive element. He didn't kind of like acquire any additional knowledge, education. He didn't write any book about his military, whatever. He's got nothing up there, jobless, retired, and depended solely on whatever Nigeria was given to him at the time until this guy brought him back. So by the time they gave the #1 job of Nigeria to that lifeless mannequin, Buhari, millions of Nigerians who participated and those who didn't participate, including businesses that participated and didn't participate, when Buhari was done, millions of them became jobless. What an irony. And that's why they said when Buhari was jobless, gainfully employed Nigerians, they called him to come and change Nigeria. Which means they gave him a job. By the time he is done, millions of them have become not only jobless, so they have swelled the basket of the poverty, what have you, in Nigeria. In fact, Nigeria won the award as the poverty capital of the world under these guys. Life, many others who could jackpot. Those who were singing change. Majority of them are, okay, maybe not majority of them. Many of them now live abroad successfully. It's been over the years. Some of them have now become British. Some have become Americans. Now they are loving Nigeria from abroad. You see, life, as those who would die, have been slaughtered, killed, never to be remembered. Not by the government, but the only people that remembers them are their family. In this short time, this was not 50 years ago, 60 years ago. This was just 3 years ago. Now, those who are part of that have now rebranded to come and face the druggie who is now in charge, dealing with everybody, to say they want to rescue us from him. One of them is Onoche, Loretta Onoche. Remember, she don't make video as we speak.
Democratic principles include citizen participation, equality, tolerance, accountability, and transparency. These principles ensure that citizens have a voice, are treated fairly, and can hold their government responsible. These include the rule of law, free and fair elections, and respect for human rights. Here's a fairly more detailed look at these key principles. Citizen participation. All citizens should be treated equally under the law and have equal access to opportunities regardless of background or status. As it applies to Nigeria, these would be regardless of one's tribe, religion, political party, and financial status. Tolerance. Democratic societies must respect the rights and opinions of minority groups and those with differing views. Accountability. Government officials and institutions must be answerable to the public for their actions and decisions, same way everyone is answerable to the laws of the land. For instance, budgets should be open to public scrutiny, especially after undergoing selfish padding at the National Assembly. Transparency. Government operations and decision-making processes should be open and accessible to the public, promoting trust and preventing corruption. Citizens have the constitutional rights, backed by the Freedom of Information Act, to demand the release of necessary information, and the government is bound by the law to respond to the demands free and fair elections. Elections should be conducted regularly with universal suffrage, everyone eligible to vote, and without coercion or fraud. The role of the security network should only be limited to maintaining law and order, nothing else rule of law. The word injustice applies where some citizens are less equal than others who are above the laws. Respect for human rights. Democracy inherently protects fundamental human rights, such as freedom of speech, religion, and assembly. Separation of powers. Everyone, including the government, is subject to and accountable under the laws and the Constitution. Power is typically divided among different branches of government, legislative, executive, judicial, to prevent any one entity from becoming too powerful. Unfortunately,
Is God not wonderful? That's what they would say. They would say, is God not wonderful? The same people that used DSS, Interpol, and so many other unconventional means to jail their critics and defended same on their national TV, justified it. Malami and gang, now they say, God, is God not wonderful? But there's something I want you to notice. The moment they go on TV to defend something that people have established a bit of a theory around, like, what is it like going to be with Tinubu and his gang, as it is being peddled, right, that there are many of them, especially from northern Nigeria, that won't leave the APC, because they will have to make sure they destroy the Tinubu, whatever it is, from within. That is their plan. While Tinubu's backers are saying, well, you don't know Tinubu because Tinubu is not Jonathan. So Tinubu is going to make sure that he flush out all those he suspects. They say, well, by the time he begins to flush them out, he may realize that the only people left with him are those who are using their own tribal feeding bottle card. Because you need your tribal card to eat from Tinubu's sort of like a national cake now. Do you understand? So you have to flash your tribal card. If in no way, the tribal card will determine what you are going to get. So they are telling him that the Ronu coups, the Ronu Nazis, the Lagos Aboba coups, the Oshogbo Alimajiris, they said those who are their crumb eaters, crumb chasers, ass lickers, all rightsers. Tinubu will realize that those are going to be those left with him, and others that is managed to use his money and public fund to buy to his side. They won't be loyal. Anyway, in all of this, when you see them come out to tell you, no, it's not what you think. It's just social media regulation. When they deny, just know that there is more than what you even know or what we think we know. Here is one of them telling us that, no, the CPC people and Buhari, they are still with Tinubu in his word.
Give us an understanding of what you make of Boss Mustafa's statement from that yesterday's book launch.
Sheon, and good evening, Nigeria. Good evening, Nigerians. My senior brother, Boss Mustafa, certainly got it wrong. Because probably, I can't even remember where he was that time. If people can remember very well, my own face from 2001 to date. I'm one of Buhari's faces, people that have stood by and for him all through up to the time he finished the presidency. And moving forward to 2014, former governor of Ekiti State was the Kayode Fayemi, was the chairman of the convention committee. And each presidential candidate at that time, aspirants, Muhammad Buhari, I was Honorable Farouk Adam Aliu, who was his representative on that committee. So I was his returning officer. There is Honorable Greg from Imo State, who represented